All right, welcome to episode 10 of Four Competitors Only, which is funny because our team aren't really looking like that at all. We got Dilo, we got Christian, and we got Ben. Fellas, how's it going? How's your night been?
Doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. I'm doing great. Just living life.
Doing
Glad
great
to
too.
be.
Doing awesome. Ready to talk shop about the Miami Heat.
So, guys, we have had a rough couple of weeks, let me tell you that. Losing six straight games ever since that Spoelstra contract. We lost that one game versus OKC, and then the rest we went 3 for 7 ever since. So, tell me, guys, what do you think has been the main issue in these losses, and what do you think the rotations should look like?
In my opinion, everything is going wrong. Literally, like these past 2.5 weeks of watching Miami, literally nothing has gone right. We can't play defense. We're an offensive shooting slump. Jimmy doesn't want to step up. Bam isn't stepping up enough. Like Tyler's being Tyler. So I mean, what's new? We don't have enough bench production. Exposed rotations are off. Like there's literally nothing going right.
Tyler being Tyler, but normally that's a good thing because he was a former six man of the year. But so saying Tyler being Tyler doesn't really sound accurate right now, which is weird for me to say. I mean, this man scores 18 points, which is okay, but seeing the shot attempts and how many he made is what shocked me.
Exactly. He'll go like 7 for 19.
Something like that. But I don't know. I mean, I keep telling my friends on Twitter that even though he might not agree to be the sixth man or come off the bench, if he complains, trade him because he's got to do what's right for the team, not for himself. And who knows? He might be building all these bricks for Cleveland or Brooklyn. You never know.
Hey man, whatever team wants him.
But at this time, it's pretty normal because it's the season for trade rumors, trade deadlines coming up. That's why I think people get more nervous. They either ball out or they don't ball at all. And right now, we are on the bad side of this. I mean, OKC lost by 8 points. That's when Spoelstra got his contract, which is understandable because they're the best team in the NBA right now, other than Boston, which I hate to say. They lost. Then they won against Orlando, as expected. Won against Charlotte. Then at Brooklyn, a 3-game win streak, which is perfect, fine. But then it began in Toronto. That game we want to forget about versus Atlanta, the game I went to on Haslam night.
God.
And then at Orlando, which was actually a disappointment, a blowout, wasn't even close. Followed by Memphis, which I have no explanation for at all.
Next.
Versus Boston, we lost. I mean, understandable, they're the best team in the NBA, but the way we lost was also no explanation. And finally, the game that made me cry in New York last game, another blowout where I noticed some mistakes defensively where you guys can notice the same thing too. Defense, this one play, OG got a red carpet slam dunk. Easy, and that's what I knew we would lose the game right there. No effort, nothing.
Literally, that's the thing. Like, if we even tried, like it wasn't even supposed to be a blowout because we were only down. I think it was tied at halftime, and we were only down 10 coming in the third, and then 2 minutes into the fourth, we were down 20 again. Like, shit is sick.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the Heat and this losing streak. We've seen something similar last year. I was pulling up in February where we only won 1 out of 8 games in the middle of February. So, and taking a look at the record, we were actually right about the same as we were last year with 24 wins in the first half of the season there. So, it's looking a little bit similar how it was. But you talk about Jimmy and Butler not producing. Butler, of course, we know doesn't come alive until the playoffs. If Jimmy Butler was playoff Jimmy,
If we get there,
he'd be. Yeah, if we get there, right?
If we get there.
Right. It's scary to think where we're at, but if he performed the whole entire season, he would be an all-star starter. when Jimmy wants to play, and we saw that in the third quarter against the Knicks the other day, we made that run to get back into the game. It was all Jimmy. Jimmy goes out and we lose it. So I think in reality, it's a lot of guys that aren't stepping up, and it's led by Jimmy Butler, who as a team leader, that's what he's got to do. He's got to step up and say, all right, I'm going to take over. And as your star that's playing, as a coach myself, I know if our best guy gets going, our role players play a lot better. When our role players are forced to do a lot more than they're expected to do, we don't do as well. So although it's the NBA and they got to step up, I think a lot of it has to come around Jimmy Butler and his ability to play. And he's just not giving it his all right now. He's got to do it a little bit earlier if we want to get to the playoffs.
Right. I mean, right now I found some stats on our big three. There's this 6-game losing streak. I mean, before Terry Rozier came to Miami, we were all hyped because we thought, 420 and more point scorers. But no, but before and during his time in Miami, Butler's points per game went down a bit from like 22.5 to 19.3. He's averaging 4.8 rebounds and 57% field goal, which is okay. It's not bad, but it's not Butler like. Hero, 18 points a game, went from like 21 to 18. And Bam went from like 22 to 17. So I'm trying to figure out what's our issue. It's not just defensively, but it's clearly an offense. Like, people are passing up open shots. They're breaking open shots. And I really have no idea how to explain it. It's like Butler said post-game, as the leader, he should know what to do, how to figure this out. But even he's confused. Even honestly, he doesn't know what to do, which pisses me off.
Oh my God, that pissed me off so much watching that. Because when Brady asked the question, I was like, oh, he's going to give us an amazing answer. He's going to make me feel so many times better. And to hear our team leader, our number one player, say, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I almost threw my phone across the room. I was like, that's all you have to say, Jimmy? That's all you have to say? You don't know? Like, I think we were losing 4 or 5 games at a time.
Dealer, your mic.
Is that better?
Yep.
Right. Like, just for him to say, I honestly have no answer for you right now. It honestly pissed me off. Because what do you mean you don't know? You couldn't tell us a lie? You couldn't give us a fairy tale? You couldn't give us anything? You don't know? It's honestly stressful. And Ben explained it perfectly. Like, when your leader isn't stepping up, nobody else steps up. And that's perfectly the case with Miami. Whenever Jimmy Butler plays well, except for last night, apparently, everybody else plays well.
I mean, right now I'm trying to figure out what else to say. So Christian and Ben, help me out real quick.
I think with the acquisition of Terry, it's gonna be good for us in the future. But right now we need him to step up. I would love for Spo to run the ball through him, for him to be the point guard, and have Tyler Hero just be a spot-up shooter. That's where he's best at. Not him having the ball in his hands and not doing anything, just isoing, and that's it. That's not basketball.
Yeah. I did remember hearing a podcast from, what's the guy's name from Boston who goes viral for his podcast? You guys know what I'm talking about?
It's like Zach Lowe or something.
Yeah, no, not Zach Lowe, but there's someone in Boston who has a podcast who talks about how much people know how much he hates the Heat, but how much he's afraid of us too. In his podcast, he mentioned Hero in being in the same scenario like you just said, Christian, like how we should focus more on being a Klay Thompson type player.
Right.
Not like a point guard going ISOs, turnovers. He should focus on being like Nick Dallas is a Duncan 2.0.
Oh, and think about last year. You have Kyle Lowry playing a lot. Hero was not.
Ben, can you get closer to your mic a little bit?
Sure. Is this better?
Yeah.
So you talk about last year with Kyle Lowry, Gabe.
Does anyone hear an echo somewhere?
Not an echo, but it's like buffering.
I think when I've done this before, everybody mutes when they're not talking, it shouldn't happen.
Awesome to say. I'm hearing a slight echo somewhere. Like it's coming out
It's
some of the
like,
screen.
it's like an echo for you, and for me, it's like he's buffering for some reason.
Go
And,
ahead,
and,
man.
and there's just like a slight delay for D'Lo and Ben. Actually, Christian's he's okay. I'm probably perfect because his mic. But if you guys fine, and that's all that matters. But here are some post game thoughts I want to read to you guys, and let me know what you guys think and where you think their head is at. Even Bam goes. This is after the next game. We have defensive lapses, lack of communication, and it's been happening game after game. Spoelstra goes. It was both ends of the court, very inefficient offense, and then defensively in the fourth quarter, I don't remember us getting stopped. Jimmy goes, we ain't making nobody miss. And Scary Terry goes, it's been a crazy week, to say the least. I think we're all trying to figure it out together. So Terry has an excuse. He just gets to Miami this week. But Bam, Spoelstra, and Jimmy saying how they're having defensive issues. It's been happening game after game, and especially in the fourth quarter. But we've been noticing in the whole second half. Because last game, the first quarter was the best quarter. Second quarter, another half went all downhill. So, I don't know. I mean, it's clear that this team needs another trade. But who do you guys think we should try to just acquire via trade or buyout for to help this team win?
Well, we got our point guard now, so obviously we don't need a point guard. I mean, maybe a backup because we don't have a backup point guard. But it's anybody over the height of 6'7", please. We need somebody with size because I mean I was fine when we were starting Jovic. I mean, it was only just a starting spot for the meantime, just to get us some size in the beginning. But I mean, we need a long-term starter because I think that's might be one of our problems is we don't have enough continuity. I know, granted, our thing is next man up, next person steps up, but it's not cutting it. Somebody's not stepping up, and I'm sick of having a 7'5" power forward. So I'm not 7'5", 6'5" power forward.
Yeah,
so
it's 7'5".
Yeah, 7'5" is insane.
It's like 1B right there.
Literally. So, I mean, I've been hearing things about Dorian Finney-Smith, who I think is 6'8". That works for me perfectly fine. I like Kyle Kuzma. I mean, the Wizards suck, so I mean, I don't know how much they'll want to hold on to him. He's a decent size. He can shoot the three ball.
And he loves Miami too.
Exactly. We can bring defense out of anybody, so I'm not worried about defense. He can shoot the ball. He can handle it here and there. We don't need him to. Kyle Kuzma, if you're listening, we don't need you to dribble the ball. All right, but he would be a nice acquisition. I would say.
Do you know who I think that we should bring? And yes, he's a former Heat player too. Not Tucker, who I wouldn't mind, but bring back KO.
Kelly Olynyk would be an absolute perfect starter next to Bam. Literally,
that he could shoot the ball. Even though when he runs in the paint, he's like a baby horse. I don't care. He has experience with his team, like Jay Rich. He could bring the shooting. He could bring the post game play. I mean, we saw plenty of what he could do in the bubble to help us out. So imagine we bring back half of the 2018 team, and we end up winning a championship with Butler, Bam, and Rozier, whether or not Hero was on our team. Because, I mean, yes, we got Rozier. We did see some bright spots in the last game, but it's pretty obvious and clear that Hero cannot play with this starting group because people are always praying for a lineup of Terry, obviously, Duncan to space the floor, Butler, Highsmith, and Bam. Even though the shooting wasn't there, they had the defense, they'd have shooting in Duncan, and they have playmaking in Terry Rozier. But I'm not sure if it's like something inside the team that we don't know about, that they're not starting or benching Hero. But I hope Spoelstra realizes that who cares what Hero says? If you got to bench Hero, bench him and see the results. Because if Hero is not on the same page, it's hard to see how he fits with this team right now past the deadline.
The thing about it is, I think Tyler Hero's problem is it's not his fit necessarily, but it's the role he's trying to play. Like in the bubble, like Tyler Hero would ISO score like when we absolutely needed it. Like 7 seconds left, he has the ball. Well, we know he can do it, so he'll just go ahead and take that shot. The thing is now he's doing that every single possession. Like he's getting the ball and he's facilitating,
Just chucking shots
playmaking,
up.
trying to score. Like the thing we need Tyler is when he catches it, just throw it up there. Like if we give it to you, just throw it up there, Tyler. I can live with that, but Tyler trying to be a point guard type role is not cutting it. So I think that's his problem. Like Tyler Hero could definitely still start, but he just needs to have the ball less in his hands.
That's true. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Ben, you there?
He has to restart his computer. He accidentally closed it out.
Okay. But anyways, last game and during this losing streak, there's been some obvious things that I noticed that I know no matter what I say, no one in this team is going to hear me. But do you guys ever think – you guys are on Heat Twitter, right?
I want to hear, Jeremy. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm on Heat Twitter like every day. People are starting to complain. People are starting to cry about how to fix this team. And then, yes, the number one thing people are saying is whether or not to keep Hero. They're saying it's obvious that Cleveland is not going to trade or give away Mitchell, but it's been told that obviously Miami has this huge desire, huge love for Mitchell since like last year, 2 years ago. But there were some moments defensively.
Jeremy, can you let Ben in?
Yeah. Let Ben in?
Yeah.
He's in.
I don't know. He just texted and said he needed to be let back in.
But anyways, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Bam and his play, Butler's play, and anyone's play, for some reason it's been tough for them to just make even layups. Like you noticed a couple games, they keep just somehow airballing and plain breaking layups. Like I'm not sure if they're doing it on purpose ahead of this trade deadline. I'm not sure they're just nervous about who's staying in this team, who's leaving because it's that time of the year. But they have to understand who's ahead of them in the standings, who should be behind them. You have the Knicks, who are not a surprise team, but they are a surprise team in fourth place. You have Indiana, who is a surprise team ahead of us. Orlando is just on our necks right now. Chicago and Brooklyn, they're in playing. Miami's been playing against Orlando. You have Boston, Milwaukee, the first two teams up there, and then you have Philadelphia. So, I mean, okay, Christian, I need to hear if you have any potential candidates that we can get in the buyout market who we think can help this team other than like a Tucker, Finney Smith, and a Lennox, because we need to do some fixing with this team.
People in the buyout market. Interesting.
Or via trade.
Via trade. Okay, so I've always liked Jonathan Isaac. He would fit very, very good next to Bam because he plays defense and he can shoot the three ball. Why not? He wouldn't be a bad acquisition. Now, who could we trade for him?
Oh, we got a whole lot of assets. I wouldn't worry about that. I got a lot of people on the block.
Yeah. Caleb is, I think, for sure out by the deadline. If not, then I don't know what we're going to do with him in the offseason. But
and on top of that, I think we need Caleb's gonna want too much money than he deserves. We need to trade him now.
like Max Strus money. That's what he wants.
We're not giving him Max Strus money.
We're not giving him Max Strus money. No. Oh no. He's a good player, but I mean, that's too much on the salary,
Exactly. Caleb can definitely be a forefront for a trade we need, man. I don't know who we need to package with him. honestly, I don't care, but we need to do something. This is
Yeah, we
ridiculous.
can do like Caleb, Nico, and like a first round, something like that to get us
I
started.
know I'd be sad to see Nico go, but hey,
No,
man.
for sure, yeah. But I mean, it's gonna take him a while to develop on this team.
Exactly. The boy's only 19.
Yeah.
We need him to be like 23 now.
Exactly. But for like the buyout, I was maybe thinking of like Alec Burks. I don't know if you guys know him.
Wait,
Isn't
who?
he on the Pistons?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me
Who?
do my research on Alec Burks.
Alec Burks. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure he's a
Burks.
good shooter. Yeah, Burks.
Let me ask you a question. So, aside from whoever could help this team win, so I know it's been a week
Alec
for
Burks is only
Scary Terry
6'5".
on this
Cross
team.
it out.
I know it's been a week for Scary Terry on this team, but what do you guys think that he should do differently on this team than he did in Charlotte? That might be a change for us, because yes, he has been used to having the ball more, but the problem is when I see him with the ball, he's either turning it over or breaking, and he made like 3 shots. So obviously his current role either isn't working, needs to improve, or just needs to figure out what to change, because going like 4 for 10 for 3 straight games, that won't be ideal going in the near future if he keeps this pace up.
I think it's too early to say. I think the guy just needs some more time. I mean, what he
Yeah.
was doing in Charlotte is perfect. Now it might
Yeah,
not
no
be
pressure there.
It might just be some team slander, but I did see a guy say like they were like, "Oh, well, welcome back, man."
Good to be back.
I saw he said that he needs to dribble the ball for 20 seconds before he can hit a shot. And hey man, some possessions we need it. Honestly, when nobody gets going and Jimmy Butler feels like to be a coffee maker instead of a basketball player, sometimes you need it. But honestly, yeah, I think it's just too early to say. Obviously, Terry Rozier is a prolific scorer. I mean, Charlotte doesn't have very many scorers themselves besides LaMelo and Miles. So, I mean, obviously that's a gateway for him. But I think he just needs some time, get acclimated with the system. Like, his second game, he was sending screens for Jimmy Butler. Like, what are we doing here? So, I think he just needs some time, get situated.
Yeah, that's perfect. What he said.
Now,
All right, Ben. So during your time gone, we discussed which candidates via trade or buyout market we think could help this team win. Give me some of your ideas. What we could add to this team.
hold on. Now, after that 15-game mark, I got no more excuses for him.
Is your mic working?
Oh, you sound muted, buddy.
All right, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
So it's really tough, I feel like, this year, especially on the buyout with where we are as far as the luxury tax.
Mhm.
Who do you go for, and what do you have to give up to get somebody? Guys like PJ Tucker, Kelly Olynyk, Gordon Hayward are out there. There's nobody that I'm looking at now, unless it's via trade, that I think will really boost the Heat team to anything better than where we are now. So I think we need to just stay put, to be honest with you, unless there's another guard or a big that's available. Before I jumped off, I said that Hero last year really didn't need to be a point guard. I think we need to get a backup point guard, because right now it's just Rozier. Last year you have Gabe Vincent, you have Kyle Lowry playing a better role. This year there's nobody. Drew Smith goes down, unfortunately. There's nobody else. So where do you go? And I think you got to try to find point guards. They're just very, very slim picking right now. I mean, what are the odds that Kyle Lowry wouldn't come back if he gets bought out by Charlotte as a backup? That is a very big possibility. Do I want him? Not really, but if we can buy him back and he's the best available, then, I would take him. But a guy like Kendrick Nunn, even, Nunn would be a great guy to get back on our team, or somebody like that to run the offense. Terry's doing fine right now. I know he's more of a scorer, and they're going to run through him. It's only been a few games that he's been there, 3 games, so he's still got to settle into the offense. I don't expect him to just come in and just go off for 25 each game. I think it will come as they give him more of the reins. So right now it's just a tough spot, but there's nobody that I can really pinpoint that I would say the Heat have to get this guy, and if they do, it's going to make a huge difference.
Do you see
Exactly.
us possibly acquiring via trade or buyout market anyone from one of our teams like the Chicago's of the world, Brooklyn, like Dorian Finney-Smith, or the Tuckers, or the Olympics, or like Washington, who went off for like 44 points just the other night? Do you see us acquiring any player who could fit the forward position specifically?
Well, I like PJ Tucker if we can get him back. The guy works hard. They're mismanaging him and misusing him in Philly, but I think there's other teams that want him as well.
He's on the Clippers now.
Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a team that's looking at PJ Tucker.
Mhm.
And if you're PJ Tucker, do you come to Miami, who's struggling right now, or do you go to a team that just acquired Damian Lillard, that just got Doc Rivers as your coach, and is trying to go out to beat Boston? If I'm PJ Tucker, that's probably where I'm going, unfortunately. So I think that Tucker would fit.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're right.
Right. I think Tucker fits the mold to fit that spot at the power forward. But, during this stretch, we didn't have Jaime Jaquez Jr. either. People, I think, are undermining how great he has been for our team. About 14 points per game right now. But, he was getting 20. He was getting rebounds. He was playmaking. And we lost that. Haywood Highsmith, I give him props. He's been doing a phenomenal job knocking down some shots. But he just doesn't have the build like Jaquez does. So
He's not tall enough.
He's not tall enough.
Yeah, Highsmith, he's got the build of a player who you want for defense mostly.
Right.
Oh, my God. If Haywood was 6'8", oh, my God.
Yep. I met Haywood Highsmith last year, and I joked around. I said, we need 30 out of you this game, Haywood. And he said, I only play defense. I said, I know, but I know you can score too. So even him, he knows that his primary role is a defender. And that's what he really brings to the team. But he can pop off if need be. So I think we need to give this run a little – it sucks that we went on this losing streak, but I do think we need Terry to settle in. I think we need Jaquez to just settle back in off the injury. We need Jimmy to step it up a notch, and we need Hero. I would say coming off the bench, insert Duncan back into that starting lineup. I think that gives a spark off the bench for a guy like Tyler Hero. And I'd say just give it a try that way. And Spoelstra's a guy that he'll try any lineup that he can on the team to make something work till it clicks. And I think we're at that point where he's going to have to do that.
See, but the thing about Spo is hard-headed at the same time. Like, Spo will need size on the floor and just keep drilling a small ball lineup. So I really don't – I think putting Tyler on the bench is just wishful thinking from Heat fans. I don't think he'll ever do that. Like unless Tyler deserves to go to the bench, not because of fit reasons, his numbers
so far he does.
Exactly, right. His numbers deplete to where he has to get on that bench role. I don't think Spo moves him down there.
I don't think he moves him either, but you have to try something. And I think it really comes down to the fact that Tyler is a better shooter and not so great of a ball handler. He's gotten a lot better since being a rookie. I know when we were in the bubble, it was like, I don't want the ball in Tyler Hero's hands. Yeah. Now I'm a little bit more comfortable with him having the ball in his hands. But I think it takes away from what he could be great at, which is just a pull-up shooter. And if he's got to do too many jobs, that's going to be a problem. He's got to focus on too many.
So basically, right now, I think we're all in agreement that we want him to be Duncan 2.0 or Klay Thompson 2.0. Forget the ISOs, Forget the dribbling. Just focus on shooting. That's it.
Now
Because
he can
if
ISO
he
when we
does,
absolutely
He can
need it.
ISO every now and then. Yeah.
Exactly. I just need him to come off that screen and pull it instead of driving and then looking for someone else in the corner.
Yep.
mhm.
And he's attempting the most threes this year out of his career so far. So, I mean, he's getting the looks. He can knock them down. But I also think if he has the ball on the floor, it's just making it too hard on him. He's asked to do too many things. And I think if we just can have him be that Duncan 2.0, that we'll see a higher percentage of those threes made.
Exactly. He's taking untimely threes. There we go.
Yep.
Yeah. Quick question before we move on. So right now our lineup starting five has been obvious: Rozier, Hero, Butler, Highsmith / Martin, and Bam. Right? What do you guys think should be our lineup moving forward before the deadline, and what should be our rotation off the bench?
Go ahead, Christian.
I'll say Rozier at the point, Duncan at shooting guard, Jimmy at small forward, Highsmith at the 4, and then Bam at center. With
So the only
the lack
change
of point guard,
for now, the only change we make would be Hero just basically benching and have Duncan
Yeah.
start.
maybe Hero can run the bench unit. I
Like
would
a former
say.
Depot role.
Yeah, basically. Depot would be so nice to get on this team too. That's the guy that we would want.
He would be
Nah,
perfect
Depot's
right
too
now.
injury prone. He's a heat lifer, but Depot's too injury prone now.
Right. But yeah, Hero runs the point off the bench with Jay Rich, Caleb, and Love, I guess.
Yeah, I figured.
Me personally, I'm fine with either Duncan or Tyler starting. I just think Tyler needs to change his role. He needs to have the ball less times in his hand for less amount of seconds. But I think it should be Terry, of course. Duncan or Tyler, I could care less. Jimmy, Bam. I think we should put Jovic at that 4 start just for now. Like I'm not satisfied with what I'm seeing with the shorter guys. Like even if we tell Jovic, hey man, just play defensive rebound, and if we absolutely need you to, make a pass here and there. I like Jovic at that 4 spot. He hustles hard, he plays good, he has the size for it. So I like him at the 4 spot off the bench. Once again, either Duncan or Tyler. If it is Tyler coming off the bench, he should play that point guard role. He can do it off the point guard role, but off the bench, I think Tyler should be our main offensive player and just surround 4 defensive guys around him. I think that would be perfect. I mean, even if it's just to give Bam, Jimmy, Jaime some rest, like. So yeah. Off the bench, I'd go Tyler or Duncan. Either of them can run the point. I could care less. Jaime, Highsmith, Caleb, and then Love. I mean, I think that would be perfect. We got the spacing, we got shooters, defense first and foremost. I mean, Love can hold down the paint. Jaime can play defense. Haley can play defense. Caleb can play defense. I mean, Tyler's the only liability off the bench, I would say, defensively. So, I mean, that would be perfect for me. If Spo get it through his thick head to run that, we'd be great.
I agree with Christian's lineup of just kind of flip-flopping Duncan and Tyler out. And why I like that a lot more, and I know it'll kind of irritate Tyler, though, and I think we're talking about it right now, is that when Tyler Hero's in the starting lineup, he's taking the majority of the shots. That's taking away from Jimmy's opportunities. That's taking away from Bam's opportunities. If you bring him off the bench, you're telling him, when you go out there, you do your thing. I don't care if you shoot every shot when you're coming off the bench. This is your rotation right now. When we have you there, you do your thing. That is why I would put Duncan in the starting lineup. You can run him off the Bam screens, which is what he's good at. You can have him run the pick and roll very well. He does it better than Tyler, in my opinion. And then you bring Tyler and Hami in, and you say, you two light it up. Because you do have a Kevin Love that's not going to give you production. You do have other guys on that bench that's not getting production. if you leave Tyler in that lineup. Duncan needs some of the starters in there to perform better. So I would go with Tyler off the bench and then just say, hey, I know we're moving you to the bench, but when you're in there, you have the green light no matter what. You're running that offense, and then you're getting those shot attempts that are getting taken away from Jimmy, from Bam, from Rozier, from Duncan that would be in the starting lineup.
You know, Ben, that's perfect, man. I like the way you think.
All right. Before we head out, again, we got about a good 10 minutes, so we're running on good time. Let's talk about who we think will beat reserves on the East and West All-Star teams. And let's go first with the East side. I'll go first, or you know what? No, forget. Dilo, you can go first. Name your East All-Star reserves.
First and foremost, Jimmy Butler, Idris Adebayo, of course. I think Jimmy makes it just off the fact that he's Jimmy Butler. Bam makes it off of hard working numbers because he deserves it. Jimmy Butler, in my opinion, he doesn't deserve it, but he's Jimmy Butler, so he's gonna get it because he's Jimmy Butler. Both of them are there. I think they give it to Drew Holiday. Of course, they give it to Jalen Brunson. I think they give it to. I can't think of any forwards per se off the bench. I don't know why I can't think of any forwards for the
Or
All-Star.
maybe guards.
Yeah, like I say, Drew Holiday, Jalen Brunson.
Don't forget that Tyrese Maxey has to be probably.
Oh God, yeah, they're definitely gonna make Tyrese Maxey a starter. I don't know, Jimmy might not make it just off that.
And I believe me, I think Jimmy's be celebrating that.
Honestly, like stuff like that pisses me off. Like, come on, Jimmy, you should try and get these accolades, bro. Like, come on. Oh, I'm Jimmy.
Now, what he cares about is a trophy. All right, Dilo.
Oh, Julius Randle, he might get there.
That's my one debatable player right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He might get there. It's a maybe.
Bam should for sure. If it's not both Jimmy and Bam, it should definitely just be Bam because Jimmy
Definitely
could
should
care
be
less.
Bam.
So Bam, even though Miami's mid, Bam should for sure be in it.
Oh,
but
Boncaro, he's definitely gonna make it.
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah, he's making it,
no
sure.
doubt. What about Scotty Barnes?
Ooh.
Bam from Toronto.
I don't think they have a good enough record. They're 12th in the East. I mean, 12th in the East.
Yeah.
I don't know if he gets it, man.
Christian.
Let's see, for the guards, I'll probably say like Trae Young and Brunson. Trae Young and Brunson. Maxey probably gets that other spot for like the two randoms. And I'll say obviously Bam, Jimmy, and for the other forward, probably Jayden Brown. That's
yeah.
Jayden Brown.
Come on, Dilo.
How did I forget about I could care less about the Celtics. Like,
I think that's it, right? Yeah. Or probably Paolo.
yeah,
Paolo
I think
Banchero?
Banchero definitely gets
Yeah,
it.
Paolo Banchero. Yeah.
I think Banchero gets in, Brown gets in, Maxey, of course.
Yeah.
I think that the other guard, then of course Jalen Brunson, Banchero, yeah, for sure. For center, it's tough. The East is really not stat. I mean, they put Banchero there, I guess. I have Bam in. I don't have Jimmy in. I just don't think Jimmy's done enough yet.
He really
I mean,
hasn't.
Yeah.
By the way,
I don't think. I mean, of course, as a Heat fan, I want Jimmy Butler in it, but I don't think that he'll get voted into it. So I think a lot of the guys you said already were solid. I think they're going to go with that group. Maybe if they need a backup center, like you said, Randall. I know he's not a center, but they might still put him there, and maybe Jared Allen. I mean, the Cavs are on a hot streak right now, but I'll stick with Bam there as the backup center for sure.
Yeah, that's a good maybe for Jared Allen.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Here's one name no one's mentioned yet, and I'm very surprised. Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, in my
no.
opinion, on this hot streak, I'm
That's the
very
thing.
surprised no one mentioned Donovan Mitchell.
There's too many good guards in the East. There's too many.
It's
There's
stacked.
Which is why people make, which is why there's always list of all-star snubs, and one of these players for sure be on the list, and people have been freaking out, debating, and that's how life goes. But for me, so the bench, how many guards, how many forwards, how does it work? Because I'm not used to doing this.
Two
So-
guards, three forwards. Three forwards.
Got you. So basically, forget the positions. I'm just gonna name players. Boston, I fully believe Jaylen Brown will get it, especially as like the highest paid NBA player probably right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's definitely in Boston's number one. So I definitely think Brown's in it. Philadelphia, obviously Tyrese Maxey. New York, Jalen Brunson, and or Julius Randle. Both of them or one of them is getting in. Cleveland, like I said, Donovan Mitchell, or arguably Jared Allen. Indiana, I'm not sure about Pascal, but Tyrese Halliburton's already a starter. So Pascal might not be in it. He might be a snub. Miami, obviously, we all say Bam. Obviously, we agree with Ben Carroll. And that's probably it for me because you have, I don't know, Toronto, Brooklyn, Washington, Detroit. Those are all the bottom teams. And I'm pretty sure the top teams get more recognized. Drew Holiday, possibly, as a reserve. But I'm naming more guards than forwards, I think. But I'm just naming players who I think should be in it. So that's just my side. Give me, guys, a quick West All-Star reserves.
You can skip me. I have no knowledge of the West for at least like yeah, go ahead. But
I'll
the
jump.
The Suns just lost to the Magic today, so I don't know what that means for us
Oh
tomorrow.
no way!
Devin Booker dropped 44
On a loss again?
on a loss. Oh God.
This week has been crazy for scores. Let me tell you that.
They're gonna take their anger out on us. Oh God.
That's crazy.
All right, Ben, let's hear your West All-Star reserves.
So obviously, one guy that this is, I think, his first one out, not in the starting lineup, Stephen Curry. He is the clear, obvious one that will get voted in. I think at the other guard, it's easily also going to be Anthony Edwards. Having a great season, I would put him there.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as down low, I think, depending on what's up with Davis, I think Anthony Davis could be voted in. But you got to go with Kawhi Leonard or Paul George. I would go Leonard over
Yeah.
or both possibly. And as a maybe a guy that I would throw in there at center that might be a little bit of a sleeper, Alperen Sengun of the Houston Rockets.
I agree.
That's definitely a sleeper. That's definitely a sleeper.
I agree.
Wait, so does anyone have? Well, not anyone, because Ben. Do you have Zion in there?
No, not this year.
Not this year. I wouldn't have him close. I mean, Kyrie might get in as well if we're looking at another guard. The way that Devin Booker's been playing lately, maybe
he doesn't have the votes.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
have
like Kawhi Leonard in there, so I'd go Steph Edwards, I'd go Kawhi, Paul George, and Sengun probably.
Not bad, Christian.
I'm gonna have to say
there's two players who no one has named yet, and I will tell
I'm
you
gonna say
if no one
Harden.
says it.
I'm gonna say Harden.
Okay.
Yeah, Harden. Yeah, Harden, Curry, Kawhi, Paul George, and Sengun. And for those two extra spots, I'm gonna say Edwards and Victor. I'll say Victor.
Do you think Wembanyama gets in there?
I think so.
I don't think so. No, Victor might be like in the.
Actually, no, AD. I didn't say AD. Never mind. I didn't say AD.
That's what I say.
There we go. That makes
It's
sense.
too early for Victor, but he's looking good.
I mean, because Wemby might be in the rookie, like the Stars game. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. That
Oh,
I don't know the
Rising
roster game
Stars.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about the All-Star game yet, but you guys, no one has named 2 players, and I will tell you guys who in my list. All right, so obviously Edwards, obviously.
Mhm.
I was gonna say SGA, but he's a starter for some reason. So
For some
Edwards,
reason?
Curry
Crazy.
are the 2 obvious ones. Edwards and Curry. I'm not gonna pick both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. I'm picking one of them, and I'm picking Kawhi. I'm
Mhm.
picking Kawhi. I'm gonna pick. I'm thinking about Jamal Murray. I'm thinking about him. But if not Jamal, then I'm gonna do PG instead. De'Aaron Fox is a sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
De'Aaron Fox is my sleeper.
Mm.
All right. How many was that? How many did I just name?
I think you got the 5 there.
I think you have the 5.
All right, and yeah, like Ben said, I'm gonna add Kyrie in there just as my like HM. I will mention Kyrie is there, but there's someone, but people, I guarantee you, Booker and or KD will be snubbed,
KD's the
even
starter.
though they're.
Katie's starting.
Oh, sorry. Okay, that
Yeah,
makes
he's
sense. So Booker might be a 2 time snubbed All-Star.
Yeah, he might get snubbed. Yeah.
Dang, I think I don't know. After he just dropped crazy, I mean, crazy numbers in the loss don't mean nothing, so they might not give him the
Right,
flowers.
right, and plus
Exactly.
the coaches decide the reserves, right? The coaches decide the reserves.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, then I have no doubt Booker should be a reserve. Booker should
Oh
be a
yeah,
reserve.
yeah.
Edwards, Curry, no question. Anyone from New Orleans? No, right? I doubt it.
Nah,
From
because
New
if
Orleans.
it isn't Zion,
Right.
it's Brandon Ingram, and Brandon Ingram isn't gonna.
Right
So.
now, right.
And I
So
voted for him too.
AD is
Goddamn.
obvious.
AD. Yeah.
AD is obvious, and I'm gonna stick with De'Aaron Fox as my sleeper
That's a good one.
because the Kings they're rising. They're top 4 right now. No, they're top 5.
Sabonis is also a sleeper.
So, and they made the playoffs just last year after the long ass drought. They're a fast team, fast paced team, very entertaining to watch. So yeah, I'm going with De'Aaron Fox as my sleeper. All right, guys. Tomorrow it's game I believe 47 of the season. Am I right? 47.
It doesn't matter.
It's around there. Let's just say it's around there.
I think so. Yeah.
It's around game 47. No, because on my post I have how many games we played already in the top corner, so keeping track. But it's around 47. We're hosting Phoenix Suns, who have just, you said, lost to Orlando,
Yep.
which is crazy. So that means we're probably losing to Phoenix because Magic beat us recently. But nah, I'm hoping Miami gets it
Yeah.
back on track. We're
Game
back home.
47.
We have a fully healthy team aside from those G League players. So, Scary Terry, the more he plays with us, the more he'll get suited in. So, I'm not confident, but I'm not negative about
How?
tomorrow. I'm going to say it will be another clutch game. Tomorrow, I'm going to miss the game because I'm going to some Jewish event. So, Dilo or the mother co-owner will be obviously helping me out. But I'll be back for the game afterwards. So, Phoenix, Miami, 7:30 p.m. in Miami. Guys, give me your thoughts. Who's going to win? Be realistic before we close it out. Who's the top scorer in this team, in this game?
Oh God. I can't say anything else but Miami. I know we're in a slump. God,
Just praying for Heat win this time?
literally,
Praying for Heat win?
Yeah.
I saw somebody say the other day, like they used to like enjoy waiting all day for a Miami game, and now I'm begging, grasping for a win. Like this has been the roughest 2 weeks I can remember. Like
I mean,
last season when we were in a slump, like it wasn't that bad. Like they were close. There were like notable issues you could pick out. Like this season, like I just don't know what. If Jimmy Butler says he don't know, then I definitely don't know. So
no, that's scary. He
Exactly.
doesn't know.
No, that's scary. Yeah.
I pick Miami. I think we'll get a slim 6-point win, something like that. I just hope that I don't know Kevin Durant or Devin Booker
Close.
stub their toe or something. Like I don't know, man. but I'm choosing Miami.
Injuries we don't wish for anyone. That's the one thing I'm gonna just say. Injuries we don't wish for anyone, no matter how good the team is.
Yeah, no, I don't want him to get too
Christian,
hurt.
what about you?
Just a stub toe.
I like Miami to win tomorrow and bounce back. I think Jimmy Butler, after the game yesterday and what we saw out of him in that third quarter, I think he's got to take charge, and I think that happens tomorrow. I have Jimmy Butler for 30 plus tomorrow. He's going to get the job done. I think Bam, he had a rough game yesterday, so Bam gets back on the winning track.
Yeah,
I think the underrated guy that we're going to see step up is our rook. I think Hami Jaquez will put up at least 15 tomorrow. I think we get the job done. Coming off the back-to-back, we tend to do well with teams that are playing us the second time. Obviously, earlier on in the season, when I went to the Cavs game with Zach courtside, where they were coming off a overtime loss, the Cavaliers to the Sixers. And I was just glad that we won by 30. That was an incredible game. But our mindset will be back. This is Heat culture. We're not going to let it continue. Jimmy takes over, 30-plus points. We win by 5.
and I'm gonna say Phoenix, Miami. Obviously, Phoenix is a better team. Miami is a fully healthy team now. Yes, we got to figure out rotations. We got to figure out matchups and our defensive issues. But obviously, as a Heat fan, realistically too, I'm gonna say Miami clamps. We get the ball in the hoop one way or another, and this will be. I'm gonna try my inner Chuck here. Guarantee a win at most by 5 points. At most, this will be a very tight game. I hope, because whenever I miss a game, Miami wins, and tomorrow I'm missing the game. So I don't want to jinx it, but I hope to come home and he win, play Peppers, and enjoy a Monday for the first time in a while.
Dude, we need to.
So, guys,
stop Grayson Allen too.
Oh, Grayson Allen, yeah.
Yes, the newest Heat killer, But with that said, guys, I want to thank you guys for joining. Hopefully, we stay more consistent with these episodes. But next episode, we will be part of the 5 Reasons Sports channel to get better designs going for this channel, because this looks dull. But other than that, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you guys for episode 11. Hopefully, after we break this losing streak. With that said, I'm your host, Heat Culture. We out.
Yeah.